I can't
So you
even
know what?
see like why they would do that.
Like, is NAC in your liver formula by chance?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's illegal now. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I better write that down. What's the difference between Gorilla Mode and Gorilla Mind? Like, which is better, really? And from your own personal use or experience, like, if you had to pick one supplement, what would you pick? And like for me, I prefer the stims. So
Yeah.
that's going to be the big difference for me. So I'm more into the mode.
Yeah. Okay, so have you tried Gorilla Mind Rush by chance? I think I
No,
sent you some.
I don't think
Okay.
Rush. It's been
Yeah,
about
I
6 months ago that I had.
could have sworn I sent you a bottle of it. Anyway, that's a discontinued product now, but that was like my favorite product I've ever created, but it was like the stimulant complex I used in it. It was basically a nootropic formula that also had a combination of very potent stimulants, and now some of those stimulants the FDA doesn't like as much, so we had to discontinue it. But that was like my most effective. Like you could if you had a bottle of it, you could probably sell it on eBay for like $400 right now. Like those product, it's crazy. Yeah, like even yeah, some of our stuff that sells out, like people relist them and just like sell it on eBay. It's crazy.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So like Gorilla Mind Rush is my favorite product of all time by far. It's a crying shame we had to discontinue it. But if you tried it, you
And it's
know how
because
good
of
it was.
FDA regulations. Is it new or is it just they just jumped on it after a while?
They've sort of had it like on the radar for a while, but it's at the point now where like they've never officially illegalized any of the ingredients. Like how it kind of works is they will send they basically decide an ingredient they don't like, and how they go about preventing people from using it is they send out warning letters to some companies that are using it, and then the rest of the industry basically takes that as like a warning shot that you either stop using it, or they might like either send you a letter too, which is you're on their radar, or they'll like file a suit against you and take you to court where then you have to prove that your ingredient is DSHEA compliant, and you have to literally like argue with them about why like blank stimulant is like derived from some like random tree in like fucking Africa or something, which you're not going to win because how much money do you have to fight against the FDA's lawyers? So it's like you're literally it's kind of silly because you're actually thinking about like going to court to debate an FDA lawyer about why your ingredient like came from a tree. Like it's so ridiculous. So at that point, the sheer amount of money compared to what they have firepower wise, even though it's not illegal, you just have to stop using it because they don't like you using it basically. So they decided a couple ingredients in that product, like not the product specifically, but just like in the industry, they didn't like those ingredients and they were quite effective. So I just had to take the initiative and say this is not worth the company being, looked at by the FDA in any capacity, because the FDA will do like a lot of stuff, to fuck with you if you're using stuff they don't like. So, not worth the risk anymore.
And so, how ridiculous is that they pick on these like minor ingredients, but yet you could just have a SARMs company? Like, it
Yeah.
blows my mind the millions of dollars that we could make if we choose to, if we wanted to. It's millions. People like probably think we're exaggerating. Millions of dollars we could both have like that. We had a SARMs company, but it's like they can get away with it not for human consumption, but yet you can't put some stupid ingredient from some country in a stim base pre workout.
Yeah, yeah. I think the SARMs, I think there's a bill that's been introduced to ban them, but it's like I guess it's just moving slowly or what, but I imagine it's a matter of time. But yeah, there's definitely companies that have been targeted over SARMs too. But it's like I don't know. I guess the industry, there's just people who are more ballsy than others. Because they're again in the supplement industry, there are people using those stimulants still too. They're just like small, obscure companies that don't feel like they're going to be targeted necessarily. So people will still use DMA. I'm sure you've heard of DMA
Right.
from
Oh yeah.
Jack. Yeah, so that's like well known that if you use that, you're like asking for trouble kind of thing. But small companies will still use it until they like run into issues, and maybe they never do. But if they do, probably not good news. So, but yeah, like some of it is kind of silly at the end of the day when you're looking at an ingredient that's like, like they recently banned N-acetyl cysteine. I don't know if you saw that. That was
No, I
yeah.
don't
So
even know why. I can't
so you
even
know what
see like why they would do that.
like is NAC in your liver formula by chance?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's illegal now. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I better write that down.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you go on Amazon, you won't find NAC anywhere. I bought like 20 bottles personally from iHerb before they like went out of stock.
Like, I don't
And
understand why. You know what I mean? Like, what are they saying? Like, what harmful effect does it have that they're saying that it can't,
okay, so
that they
let's
can't
we
do
gotta
it?
be careful how I put the context of what
Luckily,
I'm
I
about.
haven't got the products manufactured yet. It's not too late.
Oh, okay, good.
So, which is great.
So that ingredient, interestingly enough, has some data that seems to suggest it may be effective at battling the you know what going on right now. The the
I
thing
always say
that
it's the time of the cove. No one knows what that
yeah,
is.
so that it may be effective at relieving that. And coincidentally, now it is not good for you to be able to buy said ingredient because for what reason that they have to logically justify that doesn't matter. They just don't fucking like it. And it just so happens that there's data that shows that now. So is that why they're doing it? It's not for me to say, but I think, connect the dots.
Right.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. Like that's far more silly than the stimulant thing for sure. But it's like that's the degree of bullshit that you kind of have to deal with. And you just kind of just got to deal with it. It's like that's the rules, unfortunately. So yeah. But yeah, that's as far as like my favorite product that is Gorilla Mine Rush, as far as stuff we're selling, that's my favorite product. Probably Gorilla Mode pre-workout overall, because just like broad spectrum, like pump as well as stimulants, as well as nootropic ingredients as well, like the feeling you get in the gym, as well as like the performance outcomes. It's just like, and I think we've done very good with our flavor systems considering like the potency of what I'm putting in there. Like especially I have like a half gram of Kana, which is like a shitty, like very, very earthy tasting ingredient that otherwise is very difficult to flavor. Um, and otherwise, like our product, it tastes like pretty decent considering. So that product I'm like very proud of, and it's one of my favorites overall. Some of my other formulas I'm like more proud of overall, but like for what I would use as like a performance product, if I could only pick one thing, it would be that. For the gym, for like a mental aspect, it would probably be I keep this beside my desk at all times. This is smooth. This is like the non-stimulant version, so like the brother to Gorilla Mine Rush. So I would use this for the nootropics in it, and then you could stack that with if I have coffee, that's like my caffeine to go alongside with it, or if I want to add stimulants to it, I will probably do like this plus a scoop of Gorilla Mode Energy, which is basically just like the stimulants of Gorilla Mode taken out into like a little tiny tub that's just only stimulants and nootropics. And it's kind of like a pick me up slash productivity thing. It's kind of like my replacement for Gorilla Mind Rush, but it's like a powder format. So I will use that for my stimulants to go alongside with this if I want to like replicate what Rush sort of did. Is like, so that's again, I guess I realized that I was supposed to say one product and I just said like three, but
Oh, that's all good.
yeah.
Well, on that note, I just
So,
have to run to the washroom. I've had to pee
oh, no
for
worries.
about half an hour. I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Look at me just sitting in Greg Doucette's office. Just chilling. You think I'd have something funny to say or something unique to say right now, but I'm just checking my YouTube thing.